Hey you guys, it's Jet888 here. We're going to be following up on yesterday's video, which was Random Dots 1. This will be Random Dots 2. And where we left off yesterday was we're talking about the law firm that the FCC commissioner came from. And we're looking at their who they lobby for. So that's Wiley Rein and their involvement with the Corona AIDS virus. So let's go over there. So we're just looking here at the Wiley Rein LLP, the lobbying firm. They do the telecommunications. Their client is AT&T. They have been covering the Corona AIDS virus for some reason. They're lobbying for that. I haven't looked into that. I just know that they deploy the telecommunications, the broadband. They're into the 5G. That's what they focus on. And for some reason, they're focusing on this. So we're going to look a little deeper into that. First, I'll share this website. So projectspropublica.org, represent lobbying. And I'll leave a link for this. I think I did in the last one. So the dots connected one, the first one I did yesterday, that that site's there. So all right, here we go. I mean, dang, they sure lobby a lot for AT&T. Here's another one. Here's another one on when was it, July 20th 2018. There's the original filing there. This whole area has all the links to all of this. So here's one that they lobbied for on April 22nd 2019. So it was broadband deployment, public safety, privacy, and data breach issues, 5G. So we're going to just go there, see what happens. Let's see. So we come up to, sorry about the finger there. Disclosure preview, House Gov. There we go. Sorry about that. Wiley Rein. So 1776, K Street, 1776. That was a special year in DC. So let's go check that out. Okay, so right now we're just here at MapQuest. Oh, we're not going to go there. We're going to just go check out 1776 K Street. Oh, let's see. Foggy Bottom, Bryan's Court. That's interesting. Look, DuPont Circle. Look at the street designs too. Interesting. 29. 13th Street. And that's interesting because they've got the Constitution Avenue, Burns Discovery. You've got Chinatown. We've got Walker Swamp. Did I already say that one? Walker Swamp. And just over here, we've got Murder Bay. Now, those are just freaky words, don't you think? Look at that. Highway 66. 23rd Street. Anyone knows your numerology. And we've got the Rush Barracks all in this one area. The Swamp, 20th Street, Murder Bay, the Swamp. Wow. 66, Highway 66. And then what do y'all think about that little design? This little round tummy with, looks like that could be the head. The middle torso, a very pregnant stomach. Heading south, we have, where'd that go? island hall. So you got some islands. And that's funny too, because you've got Mexico. That's just freaky. Farragut North Metro Station. To the east, we've got, where'd that go? Oh, so Savage, sorry, my other computer's in the way. Let's see, Savage Square. Don't you guys think that's kind of strange? Savage, murder, swamp, 66, Mexico, 23rd, 29. I mean, 29 is 9 plus 2 is 11, and 11 is kind of chaos. You go up north a little bit, and we've got, oh, we have an advertisement. Let's see, where'd that go? Port Royal. Look at the design on that one. So we go up by Point Royal. Look at that design of that street. So I mean, this is just Washington. So there's DuPont. Of course, we know about them loving to poison the water. They even stated that. Let's go look at Street View. Okay, wait, one more thing before we do the Street View. Again, just wanted to sort of check out the design of this little park. If we just go check out Pagan Designs for just a second. This one is kind of what reminded me a little bit of that design on that map. And that one. But this one, look at from here, Tree of Life, to here. Okay, so here we're at 1776 K Street, Northwest in New York. Here is the 1776, that's their address. And you got the United Bank. And if I just go forward just a little bit, we're going to look at this this vehicle here. I kind of noticed, I thought it was interesting. SoCo Contracting. So I wanted to look at them. So they're doing work in this building. So I'm just curious. So we get to SoCo. Oh, let's see, sorry about that. So SoCo Contracting, their projects. And let me see here, project title, infrastructure, replacement. So, customer, government agency, United States Department of Justice, Federal Bureau of Prisons. They have a job, is that clear? Sorry about that. They've got a job with the United States Department of Health and Human Services, Center for Disease Control and Prevention. How's that going for us? So they've got the United States Department of Justice, Federal Bureau of Prisons. They've got the CDC as their client. We've got the CDC again. What are they going to do? They're going to repair the stucco at a penthouse building. In Atlanta, Georgia. They've got another project at an elevator repair, U.S. Penitentiary, Atlanta, Georgia. The United States Department of Justice, Federal Bureau of Prisons again. They've got a storefront installation, U.S. Penitentiary at United States Department of Justice again, Federal Bureau of Prisoners. And here's the job. So we got the storefront installation. I don't know if I got that last time, just backing that up. So the de-water soil base of Water Tower Federal Correctional Institution, Tallahassee, Florida. De-water soil base of Water Tower. United States Department of Justice, Federal Bureau of Prisons. They sure like their prisons, don't they? You got the auger monster sewer system upgrade. You know, that's sewer. Wow. It's like the swamp. United States Department of Justice again. Oh yeah, I thought that was interesting too. Auger monster. I just wanted to check out auger definition. And it says, let's see, a tool used to bore holes, as in ice or wood or someone's head. A large tool for boring into the earth. And it says, not to be confused with augur, a prophet, soothsayer, to prophecy, to be a sign. So just don't confuse it with that, right? Wow, bountiful harvest, abused, confused, and misused words. Oh, all right. Anyhow, augur. So another job for them is water distribution system upgrade, Federal Correctional Institution, Talladega, Alabama. Again, it's a U.S. Department of Justice, Federal Bureau of Prisons. They have another one where, let's see, what was their other one? Structural repairs to existing garage in the U.S. Penitentiary. But anyhow, this is the one that I'm going to talk about real quickly. Now here, a while ago, I actually covered this. Intelligence.senate.gov cites default files 94 intelligence _ activities _ is that L or I PDF. So intelligence activities, Senate resolution, they're the hearings before the select committee to study governmental operations with respect to intelligence activities of the United States Senate. 94th Congress, First Session, Volume 1, and this is about the unauthorized storage of toxic agents. And in this, look at their little logo, in this paper, they talk about the toxins that they have, and they were supposed to have gotten rid of them under the president's orders, but somehow they just didn't, and they still have these toxins and stuff. So I wanted to look at this one thing about the water. Okay, you guys, there's so much in this document, so I'm going to leave it for you to look at, but I just want to go through some things on page 210, and the type is so tough to read, but National Security Council, I'm just, so I'm going to just hold this and read it and not worry about how to focus on the camera because it's tough to read, so just a second. So this was February 20th, 1970. National Security Decisions Memorandum. You've got all the police and everything. They're talking about United States policy on toxins. Following a review of United States military programs for toxins, the President has decided that the United States will renounce the production for operational purposes, stockpiling, and use in retaliation of toxins produced either by bacteriological or biological processes or by chemical synthesis. The United States military program for toxins will be confined to research and development for defense purposes only. Now, biological toxins, so I mean, what's that corona thing, that COVID, that just got released, so what's that? But anyhow, so the Secretary of Defense will submit recommendations concerning the disposal of existing stocks of toxin, weapons, and or agents. These recommendations should accompany the recommendations pursuant to National Security Decisions Memorandum 35 regarding the disposal of biological weapons. They're going to talk about the disposal. They'll probably pull a fluoride thing like they did for our water. Oh, let's just put it in the water. Let's just dump the extra stuff in the water. No one will care. So number 4, I'm not going to read this whole thing, but let's see. Under Secretary's Committee's annual review of United States chemical warfare programs and public information policy as directed by National Security Decisions Memorandum 35 will include review of United States military toxins program. So people were supposed, He did the 2010 depopulation document. Oh my gosh, he's whatever. So we'll talk about that later. Kissinger, look at his 2010 document, you guys. So anyhow, we go to page 211, Exhibit 9, of course. Protocol for the prohibition of the use in war of asphyxiating, poisonous or other gases, and of bacteriological methods of warfare. Now, haven't you guys seen them throwing out the gas, what's that called? The gas stuff that they throw at the crowds to disperse the crowds. Isn't that, like, doesn't that kind of asphyxiate people a little bit? And that's kind of hard to breathe. And look at this. You can hardly even look, like it's hard to even look at this writing. So anyhow, these were signed at the Geneva Convention in June 17th, 1925, and entered into forces, whatever, let's see, what does it say? Force, February 1928. So they talk about the undersigned, can't even remember, see what that word is, in the name of their prospective government, whereas the use in war of asphyxiating, poisonous and other gases, and of all analogous, liquids and materials, or no, I can't read what that says, have been justly condemned by the general opinion of the civilized world, whereas the prohibition of such use has been declared in treaties to which the majority of powers of the world are parties, and to the end that this prohibition shall be universally accepted as a part of international law, binding alike the something and the practice of, I don't know what that word is. Anyhow, so they declare that the high controlling parties, so far as they are not already parties to treaties prohibiting such use, accept their prohibition, agree to extend this prohibition to the use of bacteriological methods of warfare, and agree to bound as between themselves according to the terms of this declaration. So I'm telling you though, they're still using their bacteriological agents. This talks about the Convention of Prohibition of Development, Production, and Stockpiling of bacteriological, biological, and toxin weapons, and on their destruction. So this says, recognizing the important significance of the protocol for the prohibition of the use in war of asphyxiating, poisonous, and other gases and bacteriological methods of warfare, signed in Geneva on June 17, 1925, and conscious also of the contribution which the said protocol has already made and continues to make to mitigating, look at this, so where am I, to mitigating the horrors of war. What do they think an energy weapon is? Lasers and what those drones are going to be doing to us soon. They don't think that that's a horror of war. I guess if you don't see it coming, it doesn't count. So just one sentence here. Convinced of the importance and urgency of eliminating from the arsenals of states through effective measures such dangerous weapons of mass destruction are those using chemicals or biological agents, recognizing that an agreement in the prohibition, okay, we've read about that, it represents the first possible step towards achievement of agreement on effective measures. Also on agreement on effective measures, are they saying, well, energy weapons are effective, let's just use that instead? Because all those bacterial things are kind of yesterday. Also for the prohibition of the development, production, and stockpiling of chemical weapons. Okay, so when they talk about we shouldn't stockpile, I just wanted to show you guys this. I'm going to scroll through this. Okay, this is on the same page. So, determined for the sake of all mankind to exclude completely the possibility of bacteriological, biological agents and toxins being used as weapons, convinced that such use would be repugnant on the conscience of mankind and that no effort should be spared to minimize this risk. What are we dealing with right now then, you guys? The COVID, right? That's a biological weapon. Well, they're using it's not that it's really dangerous, but the way they're using it as an excuse, you know, shut everyone down, make everyone poor. So Article 1, again, I'm just skipping over some few things. So number 2 says weapons, equipment, or means of delivery designed to use such agents or toxins for hostile purposes or in armed conflict. Each state party to this convention undertakes to destroy or to divert to peaceful purposes as soon as possible, but not later than 9 months after the entry into force of the convention, all agents, toxins, weapons, equipment, and means of delivery specified in Article 1 of the Convention, which are in its possession or under its jurisdiction or control, and implementing the provisions of this article, all necessary safety precautions shall be observed to protect populations and environment. But again, they're only talking about biological stuff. They not once are mentioning energy weapons. So, well, we didn't use a toxin. We didn't use a toxin on you, so it doesn't really count. Oh, goodness. So, hang on. I'm going to go look for something else to show you. Oh, I have this some water thing I want to show you. We jump down to Article 8. Nothing in this convention shall be interpreted as in any way limiting or detracting from the obligations assumed by any state under the protocol for the prohibition of the use in war of asphyxiating, poisonous, or other gases, and of bacteriological methods of warfare, signed at Geneva. So what are the gases that they're shooting at everyone in the streets? Is that not a violation of this conventional agreement? Okay, so let's see, 15. This says this convention of the English, Russian, French, Spanish, and Chinese texts, of which are equally authentic, shall be deposited in the archives of the depository governments. Duly certified copies of the convention shall be transmitted by the depository governments to the signatory and acceding states. So, and then we're gonna, this next, they show here, this is, look at all this. I'm gonna just super scroll super quick, but William Beaver, New York, you look at Washington. I mean, this is, oh, the Rockefeller University, like what do they have? Botulinum, how do you say that? Okay, so the Rockefeller University has botulinum, just, and look at all these. I'm going to just scroll you guys so you can see. Staph, botulinum, shellfish poison, next page. I mean, this is pages and pages of people all in our country that have, oh, Bond, James Bond, that have access to these toxins. Or they say they got rid of them, but then they admitted later that they actually didn't. So this botulinum, I'm just going to read this. Botulinum toxin is a neurotoxic protein produced by the bacterium Clostridium botulinum and related species. It prevents the release of neurotransmitter acetylcholine from axon endings at the neuromuscular junction and thus causes flaccid paralysis. Infection with the bacterium causes the disease botulism. So that's great. So they can just put something in the water or whatever, and it's a neurotoxin. It basically kills the nerves from being able to communicate. Wow. Anyhow, this is, I mean, we've got all these pages are people in this country who have all these poisons, shellfish, staph. Anyhow, that's okay. So I'm going to cut to something real quick. So it had up to 230 to page 239. It had lists and lists of people with these toxins. So we're going to go to Exhibit 12-240. Let's see, Working Fund Investigations. This is Special Operations Division. Commodity Development Engineering Laboratories, Fort Detrick. Okay, for some reason they deleted whatever was here. They deleted it. Now, here's the thing about the water system. I want to read you, and I just have to tell you, if I get cut off, I'll have to do another video. But the General Services Administration at Fort Detrick entered into a cooperative project to investigate the vulnerability of drinking water in federal buildings to covert biological attack. The nature of the test and the summary of results are presented here because of related interest to working fund investigations. Extension of the study could produce refinement in test hardware and enhanced predictability of test results. After consultation with design engineers and public building services, which is part of GSA, the Food and Drug Administration building in Washington, D.C., was selected for investigation. The engineers assured us that the drinking water system is typical of that installed in modern multi-storied structures. The distribution of chilled drinking water in the FDA building covers 6 floors above ground, a basement and a sub-basement. Located in the sub-basement is a chilled water tank of about 100 gallons. The piping holds an estimated 60 gallons, bringing the system total to roughly 160 gallons. A pump operates continuously circulating chilled water, whatever. So they're talking about basically chilled water, you know, the drinking water fountains that we go to. Okay, I'm going to read some of this. This says 2 tests were planned and carried out in the FDA building. The first was characterization of familiarization test. So kind of like first was characterization of or familiarization test. So they're just kind of testing the waters to see how easy it would be to get into the building, and you know, wave 1, maybe you could call it wave 1. Let's see, so they just basically talk about quickly, okay, so 13 to 4 length grams of sodium, whatever that is, thiosulfate, 50 milliliters of water were added to remove available chlorine that would have quickly killed the coliphage organisms. So they're going to put some bio weapons in there, some bacterial something. So they collected some samples of water. The second test was a simulated covert test. The coliphage was introduced into the system by a back pressure technique at a drinking fountain. This is the technique a saboteur might use. Neither the building occupants nor operating personnel were advised that such a test was planned. We were not challenged and apparently undetected. So they basically just ran it through in the simulation, just like that event 201. We just wanted to see what would happen. We wanted to see how people would react, if they would notice, and apparently they were not challenged and apparently undetected. See how they just sort of test things? So this says, we are now in the process of evaluating the risk if a pathogen had been used. Let me make this bigger. Had been used. So to do this, information is needed on compatibility of sodium, whatever, and the pathogen, ineffectively or toxicity of pathogen by the oral route, resistance of pathogens to available chlorine, and on each of the on the ease of producing pathogens in high concentration in the laboratory. Well, we just saw above in all those many pages above how many people have pathogens that are deadly. I mean, shellfish toxin is deadly. it is apparent that a number of pathogenic organisms and toxins are available to the saboteur in planning an attack against a selected group of target personnel. Hey guys, we do have the poisons. A thorough study is being conducted to assemble all available data from which oral dose of agents can be derived. So this says, from limited consultation with design engineers, it should be possible to develop simple guidelines for planning an attack on a group of people that work in a building constructed with circulating chilled draining system. Chilled drinking water system. The guidelines would indicate how much pathogenic agent and how much sodium whatever to use in a specific building. Easy to get information in 4 categories is all the saboteur needs. They need to know the number of fountains in the building, approximate total floors and the type of activity, approximate number of employees, so they know how much to dose, and available chlorine content of water supply and time of attack. Weather and climate in the target area may need to be considered in a specific situation. So why would people be interested in doing this test? I mean, what are they actually looking for? So, hang on. Oh, and you've got this page that's deleted. See, so they're leaving something out. Sorry about this. See, it's okay. So received from CIA. Oh, and here's more. Okay, so they have paralytic shellfish toxin. They have all these toxins, staph, paralytic toxin. Recommendation, retain all of it. Oh, you can dispose of the botulism thing. But look at everyone. Retain. They've all retained it. Recommendation. This is 1970. Now something boil, because I can't really see that. And then here's Senior Advisor, General Counsel, something Andrews. Here's a letter, 1975, to the Honorable Frank Church Chairman, Select Committee. You can just read that. I'll surmise it for you guys real quick. Okay, so he just talks about, he basically said a lie or something. He's trying to backtrack. That's Project MKNaomi. You might want to look at that. MKNaomi. I'm running out of time though, you guys. But here it's a Fort Detrick, and interesting. I'm going to leave this to you. That's why I'm not going to go over this really quick. But American Revolution Bicentennial, 1776. 1776. I'm going to read this super